So originally my plan was to review all 9 previous installments of the Hellraiser franchise because this movie wasn't released until February 13th. It is still on Amazon right now for pre-order, and the pre-order date is February 13th. For some weird reason, they sent me a copy on a Monday. So, movies are released on a Tuesday. It's 2 weeks early. I have no idea. I don't know who else got this, but for some reason they gave it to me, and I was like, all right, because I had like 2 more weeks. I was going to knock out all 9 Hellraisers going into this one, and surprise, and because I got it, I was like, all right, fuck it, let's do it. I pulled out my 75-cent Hellraiser shirt that I got from Walmart. They had like 3 shirts, a Chucky one, and this one, and a Friday the 13th one, and they were on clearance for 75 cents each. So, yep, 75 cents for this shirt. Now, I will say up front, there's a few things I want to say before I get into the review, because if someone's looking for a quick, like, is it a good movie or not, man? Hurry the fuck up. Come on, time's wasting. For one, I'm not that kind of person, but for two, there is no easy answer for that. So if that already makes you go, well, it's not amazing. Yeah, it's not fucking amazing. So, it's not going to like be better than the first one or anything. So if that's what you're looking for, yeah, definitely off. But here is my relationship with the Hellraiser films. I'm not a huge fan of the series. I do enjoy it, but this is where a lot of people will almost immediately be like, well, this guy doesn't know what the fuck he's talking about. And that's fine. But this channel, me, whatever, it's about, my opinion, and I'm an honest guy, and I will tell you what the truth is, despite what people may think. Hellraiser Inferno is my favorite Hellraiser. Now, I am looking forward to going back and rewatching all 9, which I will do now that this is here anyway. And I want to see where all these stack up onto themselves. I'm not a big person in like orders and, 5, 1, 2, 8, whatever. But I am looking forward to seeing, like, is Inferno actually my favorite after it's been a while, and I'll go back and watch them all in order. But yeah, I've never been a giant fan of the series, so I'm not a purist by any sort. And I've never read like the Hellbound Heart, so I don't have a lot of the info on that kind of stuff, so I don't know how much of this movie plays into some elements that are in there. So, this is what I will say. The opening of this film is awesome. I thought it was weird as shit and disgusting. and it's just bizarre, and it was visually very striking. Now, this movie was made for $500,000, and it shows. There's no doubt about it. But the guy who made this movie is a makeup artist on big budget type films, and the makeup in this movie is great. I thought was really, really good, especially for a $500,000 budget type film. Holy shit! I thought everyone looked great. Like all the practical effects, and almost 99.9% of the film is practical. There's only one single scene at the very end, and it's only for like 1 split second. It's very obvious that it's a little CGI like enhancement thing over it. But outside of that, 100%. So if you're a practical effects junkie and you love makeup work and whatnot, I think this one will please you in that way for sure. I definitely think that the purists, the Hellraiser fanatics. Now, the Cenobites aren't in the majority of the films in the past, like the first one, the second one, and so on and so forth. You don't see the second one you get to see them a little bit more, but you don't see a lot of the Cenobites, especially like, outside of Pinhead. They're very infrequent throughout these. And this one is yet another one where you don't see them a ton. Pinhead is maybe in this for, 3 to 4 minutes. Is this guy better than the last guy? The look, his acting, that kind of stuff? 1,000,000%, absolutely. The guy in the last one, I mean, no talking shit to this guy. He did what he could. And the makeups people, whatever, it just looked awful. And I just didn't feel his performance at all. I am dreading going back and rewatching, Revelations or whatever. But I thought this guy was great. Like, really good. Is he Doug Bradley? I don't know. Like, no, probably not. But I thought he was solid. I was pretty pleased with that kind of stuff. Now, this movie takes more of a detective route. It feels like Seven at times, or like some of the scenes from the TV show Hannibal, which I really enjoyed. I really liked the Seven spin on this with the detectives, and I thought the acting from everyone was mostly good. And that's kind of how this film is. It's hits and misses, and I feel like it hits more than it misses. Some of the misses, they're just like, I don't know, was that the right choice? Or, maybe they could have reshot that one a little better or whatever. But I would say like 75% of this film or more, I fully enjoyed and I had a great time with. And I thought this was a solid entry into this franchise. Now, as I said, I'm not super familiar with the lore and the mythologies and all that stuff within the Cenobites and the Hellraiser universe. So I can't talk towards that kind of stuff. It does feel like the Hellraiser thing, I wouldn't say was an afterthought for sure, like something like Inferno, where it's clearly that was added, like scripts were bought and then the Hellraiser stuff was added into it. Like, I do think that this film was written to be a Hellraiser film. But as I said, the Cenobites aren't in it a ton, and they don't play into it as much as something like the first Hellraiser, the second Hellraiser. So I think that's where a lot of the Hellraiser fanatics will be like, no, this isn't a Hellraiser movie. And I can understand that for sure. But because I'm not a purist, because I'm not like this big hardcore Hellraiser fan, I think it was fine. And my expectations for this film were very low. I mean, for the budget, they kept pushing it here and then here and there, and we had production. I don't know if they had production issues in there, but getting it out, they definitely seemed like they did, because it was just all over the place. I've been following this thing for a while, and it just all of a sudden just pops up, and it's on Blu-ray. It was like overnight almost, and I was like, uh-oh, this isn't a good sign. Heather Langenkamp is in here for like 5 seconds. Seriously, I didn't even know it was her. I kept waiting for her to show up, and then when it ended, I was like watching the credits, and I was like, that was her? That 5-second thing? So I already rewound it, and I think she's wearing makeup. God, I hope she doesn't look that bad. But yeah, I was just like, oh, that's her? I mean, it's just a name to throw in here, and they probably couldn't afford her for more than like 10 seconds, but yeah, if you're looking for Heather to be in this much, no. And there's mess ups here and there, like you can see boom mic poles in the reflections of the glass and all this. So there's technical issues within the film, but that's to be expected in a super low budget film like this. They can only shoot it so much, and they can't really go back and do reshoots, and they got to use the footage they got. But yeah, I think that people who are fans of something like Inferno or like Hellseeker or those kinds of movies, and maybe more of a low budget spin on it, I do think that most people are going to really enjoy the opening. They're going to be like, what the fuck is this? This is no. And of course, there's going to be those people, but I think there's going to be a lot of people who are like really taken aback by the opening, because I thought it was great. And then the rest of the film may feel lackluster in comparison to them, and I would understand that, but I did buy into the detective story. The ending becomes fairly convoluted. I will say that. Maybe on a rewatch, it's not that I didn't get it. I just felt like it was not executed very well. And it was kind of just like well, that's convenient, and that's kind of silly. So anyway, all right, guys, I rambled. I didn't really know what to say. These are the kind of reviews that I don't really love doing. For one, I just don't like doing reviews where I can't talk about spoilers. But for two, films like this, this is more than likely going to be hated by a lot of people, if not the majority. And I will be in the minority on people who liked it and defend it. I'm used to that shit, but I can't help but give my honest feelings. But at the same time, I always feel like I want to say, more of you guys are not, and I don't want to have that kind of pessimism towards people out there. But unfortunately, most of the time they prove it to be right. I just love film, and I'm pretty much open to whatever. And so anyway, guys, let me know what you thought about this movie. I'm looking forward to. Did anyone get a copy of this? I know I'm not the only one. So did Amazon fuck up and only send it out to a few people? Did they send it out to everybody? All the people who had pre-ordered? Was it like a little courtesy gift, like, hey, 2 weeks early you pre-ordered? I don't know what the hell this was, but there it is, and I enjoyed it. So let me know. I'm really looking forward to seeing what the general consensus is. As I said, it'll probably be poor. It'll probably hit like a 4.4 on IMDb or lower. But I hope not. I hope that it gets some of the credit that it deserves. All right, guys.